This is a really, really important topic which we don't discuss enough. And actually, if we want to talk about the tactics of Shaytaan, if we want to talk about the tools of Shaytaan, one of the most effective tactics of Shaytaan, one of the most powerful tools of Shaytaan is in fact the very reality that we don't know and we're not conscious of Shaytaan. It's like if a robber wants to come into your house, that robber's greatest strength is the fact that you're completely unaware. That you're completely unaware of his presence and of his tactics. In fact, you don't even know that he exists in reality. You don't acknowledge his existence. And that makes the robber super effective. Because he can come in and out, you don't even realize it. That's one of our weaknesses, is that we don't have enough, as the Sheikh was saying, enough consciousness of the influence of Shaytaan, and then we don't protect ourselves. So that's why I want to say, alhamdulillah, that we are having these sessions and we are focusing on this. Now, this isn't to say that we become obsessed. I know it doesn't mean we're... When people used to tell jinn stories, I would leave the room. Allah, subhanAllah, our lives, right? But it doesn't, I'm also not talking about the other extreme where we sometimes become obsessed with these kinds of things and we miss the point. Let's find a healthy balance. And that healthy balance is, yes, Shaytaan exists. Yes, jinn exists. Yes, the shayateen are real. Yes, their influence is real. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala akbar. Okay, Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater than everything else. And that includes the Shaytaan and his army. All of them. Allah is greater than all of them. So what I want us to do is, while we are aware of our enemy and while we are aware that we are in a battlefield, we should also be aware of who's in charge at the end of the day. And it is Allah. And part of our test in dealing with Shaytaan is actually, where do we put our trust? And do we believe that Allah is greater? Who has more control? Who has more power? Okay, even if the entire world, as Allah tells us, even if the entire world were to gather together to harm you with something, they could not harm you except by what Allah has written for you. And if the entire world had come together to benefit you with something, they could not benefit you except in what Allah has written for you. This is part of our aqeedah, to understand that while, yes, we have enemies, yes, we have enemies internally and externally, seen and unseen. And by the way, the role of Shaytaan, the role and purpose of Shaytaan, the focus of Shaytaan, the goal of Shaytaan can actually be carried out by both jinn and ins. So that's why when I say jinn and ins, I'm talking about jinn and I'm talking about human beings. In Surah An-Nas, when we ask for protection by Allah, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by Allah from the shayateen, and Allah says, we say, min sharri al-waswas al-khannas. We ask for protection from al-waswas, the one who whispers and then retreats, right? That's all we can do, is put the idea in your head and then, hides in the corner and makes you think it was your idea. Makes you think that it's actually you who thinks that. But he is whispering, and that's why he whispers and then he retreats. He whispers and then he hides, so that you think it's you. And you start to think there's something wrong with you. But we have to understand that there's an external source of whispering. It's not even you. But he whispers and he retreats. Min al-jinnati wan-nas. So this is from jinn and people. We have to be aware that there are people who actually carry out and help in the mission of Shaytaan. That's to make us conscious of our company as well. Our company, among the people, among those we can see, also is important. Because the shayateen and the whispering of the shayateen can come from both. That whispering, that mission can be carried out by both humans and jinn. Make sense? So there are human beings who almost embody that shayateeni qualities. And we have to be conscious also of our company with regards to human beings as well. Because they can also affect us. And that whispering that we ask protection from Allah, by Allah from, is from both jinn and ins. From both jinn and human beings. Okay, so that whispering itself is something we have to be conscious of. Now, the Shaytaan has nothing really else to do. I was giving a lecture in Malaysia like 2 seconds ago, and and I was saying that the shaitan, if you want to learn about ikhlas, study the shaitan. He's so devoted to his mission, the mission that the Sheikh talked about, the mission of attacking us on the straight path, the mission of coming at us from the front and from the back and from the right and from the left. He's got nothing else to do. So what we have to realize is we have a very skilled opponent, but that opponent also is not undefeatable, is skilled but also weak. And this is something Allah tells us. Allah tells us that his plot is weak, but he is focused. It's like he doesn't take a break. And that's our problem, is that when we think, like he said, once you become religious, once you become practicing, and if you think that you're now safe from the shaitan, then you're actually he's going to win that battle. Notice in the ayah something important. The shaitan says that I will attack them on where? He doesn't say I'll attack them outside the nightclub. Right? He doesn't say I'll attack them, in Vegas while they're gambling. He says I'll attack them on your straight path. You see where he's attacking. He's going to put in more effort to attack those who are trying to be on the straight path. Because that's where you require more energy. If someone's already off the path, it doesn't take as much energy to misguide them, right? It doesn't take as much energy, as much focus, as much army to get them off the path. So he in fact will put in more attacks and more skilled and more mind games and just more effort on those who are actually trying to be on the straight path. We have to actually protect ourselves more. And the more good you try to do, think of it like this. The more good you try to do, you have to also equally protect yourself from shaitan. So the more you're trying to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more you have to protect yourself from shaitan and from the deception of shaitan. Shaitan will try to go to those people who have knowledge. Will try to go to those people who are in the public eye. And he will come at people in different ways. So what I'm going to do right now is just talk about just a few of his tools, a few of his tactics, and then how we can defeat them, inshallah. One of the tactics, and realize that when you say that someone's coming at you from your front and from your back and from your right and from the left, this is to indicate that he's going to use all different types of pathways. If you close the front door, he'll come from the back door. If you close the back door, he'll come in from the window. All right. And what that means is that he's good at what he does. He's relatively good at what he does. So he doesn't just come at you and say, you know what, I think you should just become a Christian. I mean, he's not going to be like, you should just leave Islam straight away, right? Or you should just stop praying. If somebody is praying, I mean, he's not going to come at the scholar and be like, tomorrow, you should just leave Islam.